I have some new goodies for my junk journaling, and I can't wait to show you. So settle in, I have a used bookstore haul to share with you today. Hi, my name is Tania, and I enjoy sharing my journey in junk journaling, which I've been doing for a few months now at the time of this recording. I appreciate you being here, and let's get into what I have to show. I've been cleaning the items and getting them sorted into different categories to review and go through. So I have 7 different piles here laid out on my bed, and I'll be going through each of them as I share. Now, I will say that this last group right here, these 2 items, do not have anything to do with junk journaling. I'll tell you briefly what these are in a second, but the other 6 piles are for junk journaling purposes. Let's start with these 2 items. This first one is a yearbook from 1949 of Andrew Jackson High School, which is in Queens. I do genealogy and family history. I have another channel where I focus on sharing information on genealogy, memory keeping overall, and organization. And one of the projects that I do for family history and genealogy is rescue items such as historical yearbooks and try to find them homes. And along the way, I'll research some of the people who are in it, not everybody. But this particular yearbook, being so old from 1949, I definitely had to rescue. It's full of signatures. It's got pictures. It has ephemera in it. And I do not junk journal with this type of material. This is too real. It's too easy for me to research who it belongs to. And as a genealogist, I want to get it into the hands of an institution that can take it and have it in case the family is looking for it. I would absolutely not cut something like this up to use in a junk journal. I just can't do it. So this is for genealogy purposes. Similarly, I have this item that's also for my genealogy purposes. This is a University of Florida commencement program from June of 1957. So I'm going to look this up and see if it's anywhere online, make sure the University of Florida doesn't need it, maybe research some of the individuals in here, and I may digitize this so that it's more easily available to people who may be doing research on members of their family who may have attended this school. So these 2 items are for genealogy, not for junk journaling. But I saw them at the used bookstore and couldn't let them go. This next group of items are little golden books. If you've been watching in my videos, I love little golden books. I convert them into ephemera holders and offer ephemera packs, and I use them personally as ephemera holders and card holders, so I'm always picking them up when I see them. So the first one, I'm a Dragon, and the next one, Encanto, are more modern ones. These are not vintage ones by any means. And then I do have some vintage ones I got. Cookie Monster and the Cookie Tree. I will be doing a junk journal with Cookie Monster later on, maybe this year, so I had to get this one for my personal use. I got the Elves and the Shoemaker. This I love because it's Christmas, and next Christmas I'll need to make sure I have some Christmas themed little golden books for different holiday cards that I'll be receiving. I got Piero's ABC Garden, and then a baby sister for Harry. Now this is these are vintage ones here, and if you're familiar with the little golden books, you're familiar with the type of illustrations and drawings and visual images that are in here, and these make for great junk journaling papers. I like to use book pages as backgrounds on my journal pages. I use composition notebooks, and I don't like to see the white pages, so I cover them up with book pages in many cases, unless I have a lot of personal ephemera to cover them up with. So I had to get this set of little golden books. There were others that I did not get. I actually couldn't get all of them because I actually gave myself a budget for this trip. But hey, I have a nice batch to add to my collection. I probably have about 70 little golden books at this point. So if you want an ephemera pack, let me know, because I do use these little golden books to make them. And the ephemera packs are great for incorporating into your junk journaling. So I picked up these little golden books. Next in the haul is this box of 86 flashcards. It is written in Spanish and English, and they're, flashcards for school kids. And I love getting flashcards. They're just fun and colorful, and there's so many different ways you can use them in junk journaling. Now, this particular set of cards is a combination of single words. So dia for day, and then they've got the opposites on the side, on the back side, and then we have numbers as well. So ocho, 8, and I see all the different vibrant primary colors. We have letters to be learned with these flashcards, and then animals or any other objects that start with that letter to help reinforce the learning. We have phrases. So pink heart, el corazón rosado, green oval. You can see there's a different variety of colors and phrases here, and then more phrases and different colors. So I like these because of how vibrant they were. And like I said, there's many different ways to incorporate these within junk journaling. So I am happy to have these flashcards. Moving on to the next batch, and I will take a sidebar to say, if you hear the snoring, that's my doggy Jupiter. He's laying on the bed getting some nice rest here as I make this video. So you'll have to listen to him. But let me go through this next batch of books that I got. This book here, Fish is Fish, I got for a very specific reason. This is printed, I want to say in the 80s. Let me double check the date on this real quickly. See if I can find it. The copyright on this, it's going to be too blurry for me to show you. Okay, so this is actually 1970. So it's actually older than I thought. Fish is Fish. There is an association I have with this book from my professional career, so I had to get this. I won't go into the story of it, but I was tickled to see this because I have plans to do a couple of layouts around this book and how it relates to my job. So this is going to be great for my personal memory keeping, my own personal stories. So I'm excited about that. I got this book, Snow White and Other Fairy Tales. I will be doing a Snow White junk journal in honor of my mother, who has an affinity for things that come in sevens. So of course, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I am currently collecting Snow White items so I can have a journal for that later. This book, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, uses the Care Bears, and who has memory of being an 80s child and interested in the 80s, who doesn't love Care Bears? I love Care Bears. And so I'm also collecting Care Bears, and this is going to be fun to use within my junk journal. And sometimes I share pages in different ways. Or again, I have the ephemera pack, so I may include those. I got a couple of readers. So this is a readers of fairy tales. So we have The Little Mermaid, we have Beauty and the Beast, we have Cinderella. So these are all fairy tales represented in this reader. Beautiful imagery. And I have Lilo and Stitch. My next junk journal, well, my current one, now that it's January, is Elvis Stitch. And I'm using pages and other ephemera from both Elvis Presley and Stitch in combination. So I saw this and it was immediately going to come home with me. You will be seeing these pages as I share my journaling in my January 2026 junk journal. Now I saw this book, Elvis the Rooster and the Magic Words, and you know what? Even though this is not Elvis Presley, I was struck by the fact that this rooster's name is Elvis. So guess what? These pages are going to be making an appearance in my Elvis Stitch January 2026 junk journal. So you'll be seeing that again. Okay, in fact, here is said journal. I need to do a video to explain how I put my journals together. I have made one. It got eaten up by my phone, but I am going to make another one because I want to document it for myself as well. But here's Elvis Stitch and the pages I've prepped. I haven't even journaled in this. So I need to get started because it is already January, but this is my journal. So here's my journal that I'm going to be using for January. Elvis. Oh, and here's the back where we have Blue Hawaii, Elvis's poster. So speaking of Elvis, look at this book. My husband actually brought this to me while we were at the store. He said, "Oh, look, I got a book for you." And he brought it to me. I said, "Well, you know it's going to get cut up, right?" He said, "Yeah, I know." So this is a nice large book about Elvis. So of course, this is going to make good content for my background pages in my Elvis Stitch junk journal. And this book was published in, 1997. So it is vintage at this point, but I wouldn't have cared even if it were more modern. It has Elvis content, and for that, it's going to be included in my journal. The next set of books I want to show you are larger books. So we'll start with this one, The Big Golden Book of Fairy Tales. Now this is actually a golden book. So it's not little like the other ones I showed you, but it's much larger and it has fairy tales. So I am collecting different fairy tales. Again, I told you about Snow White. There's Cinderella in here. I'm working on a Cinderella junk journal for someone. And this book was printed, let's see if I can get this to focus. Darn, I can't. But it's printed in 1981. So this is a nice vintage book. And look at the illustrations. So these are really beautiful and will, again, make great content for including in junk journals, whether it be mine or someone else's. So I wanted to get that. I also have another book of classic fairy stories, but this one is focused around the world. So this one is published in 1973. You can't see it, but wait, did I read that right? Yeah. Oh, 1983. Classic fairy tales around the world. And here's a table of contents so you can see some of the stories represented. We've got Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Remember I told you I needed that from my mom. We've got Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Hansel and Gretel, nursery rhymes, Thumbelina, Pinocchio, another Snow White. And again, look at these images. I am in love with this book. Nice matte full pages that are just beautiful. Oh, I'm so excited to be incorporating these. Just stunning. Now, I also collect Disney, and so I've got several vintage Disney books. These are Disney beginning reader books. So I have 3 of them. I've got Wendy's Adventure in Neverland. So that's a Peter Pan story. We've got Dumbo at Bat, and we've got Pinocchio's Promise. So these are all vintage books as well, and have, again, nice imagery and illustrations for me to use within my junk journals. I love these books. In fact, I think I am becoming a collector of children's books. I really have an affinity for them, it seems. So Disney, like I said, I collect Disney, so those are part of my collection now. I have this book, Masai and I. This is a book I got because I am also going to be collecting stories or children books around children of color, again, to increase the diversity and representation in my ephemera library. So I wanted to pick this one up and bring it home so that I can include it in my junk journaling. And this one is 1992, so it is vintage. But again, look at the imagery. Beautiful, colorful illustrations from this storybook. So this is going to be lovely to have. And then I have this particular item. This book is an absolute gem. It is a Russian translation of a Polish story tale of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The book is in Russian. It was published in 1975, and it is, if in my opinion, stunning. Again, beautiful imagery. It's in another language. That's different, but look at these pages. I just am ecstatic to have it. Here we go with the dwarves. So this is absolutely for my Snow White collection. Oh my goodness gracious. Isn't this just beautiful? Oh, so I have that as well. Now this stack, which is the last stack I have to share as part of this haul, is from my bookstore's ephemera section. So this particular bookstore is called the Book Rescuers. It's in Largo, Florida. I'll be sure to put the information in the description. Has a whole section of loose ephemera, and they use books that they can't sell to put these ephemera pages out, and also other things. So I was looking at the ephemera collection and realized they had a whole bunch of birthday cards. I am going to start sending out birthday happy mail to people in my junk journaling community, as well as to friends and family. And I needed birthday cards. So I was able to get a whole bunch of birthday cards. Many of these actually had envelopes with them. So I think I have about 30 birthday cards here. I'm so excited. I'll be using these as I send out birthday happy mail in the coming months. And then I picked up different loose paper ephemera that I can use in different ways in the junk journaling. I've done some videos before about how I love getting ephemera from them. And seriously, it's random stuff. Okay, look at these. Look at these Valentine stickers. I'll be using those come Valentine's Day. And just other random pieces of paper. And I have ideas for half of these already. There's reasons why I picked them up. For example, These two postcards with the space imagery are going in my Elvis Stitch junk journal. Why? Because Stitch came from outer space, so that fits the theme. And so here are just, I'm going to do some walkthroughs, some flip throughs of these different loose paper ephemera items that I picked up. As I said, I already have plans for some of this that I know I want to use it for. And again, it's just fun. It's different. It's varied, gives me variety. And here's some scrapbook pages. So this ephemera pile cost me, they price it by the weight. So they have, it's 52 cents per ounce of ephemera. And I believe all of this was around, so let's see, 18 ounces. So it was 18 ounces of loose ephemera that I picked up. So not too bad of a price. Oops, I lied. I have one more pile to show you. That ephemera pile is not the last pile. These are also really unique. So this was a set of comics that I saw in the children's section of the bookstore. A lot of this came from the children's section. And this comic comes from Belgium. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 issues of this comic. It's called, let's see, what is the name of it? I'm not even going to begin to try to pronounce these titles because I do not speak this language. But these comics were published, I want to say in the 70s when I looked them up, maybe the 80s. The date is not on the book itself. And here's a list of all the different titles that are in this series at the time this particular issue was printed. But look at the images. And I got this because it was a set. It's from another country, foreign language, bright and vivid, although I do need to research and figure out more about its origins. But there are several issues here. The earliest issue that we had was number 28. So we've got 28, 39, 99, 100, 101, and 102. And so let me just show you these covers. Again, I feel like I need to research them. Being from another country, I want to be sure I understand what the topics are of this particular comic book and understand the background. But I had to get them. I could not pass them up. It was just too interesting to me and could make for some interesting learning for me to learn about comics from another country. And if I like them, and I may want to include them in my junk journaling or include them in the ephemera packs, but this is just amazing. Beautiful, beautiful images. So, okay, with that, I am done with this haul. So I appreciate you staying to check out what I have and what I've picked up from my junk journaling. It's always fun to go to used bookstores. I always want to come home with more than I possibly can. And I'm going to have to start really making sure I put myself on restriction from going there too much. But I really end up with great items to use in my junk journaling. So I'm going to end this video here with Elvis because my next video that I will do is going to be more about my Elvis Stitch junk journal. So if you want to make sure you see that video, like this video, subscribe. I really would appreciate your support. And I will be sharing more in a couple days at the most about creating this Elvis Stitch journal and what I plan to do with it. See you in the next video.